Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Game Mess. So, Derek, and by the time you see this video, trust me, you're in for a very fun weekend, unless Flaffy Granola and their team of developers decide to push the release to a weekday. That is because by the time you hear these words, the static recompilation of Castlevania Symphony of the Night for PlayStation 1 is out and available, and I will leave a link in the description below as to how to find it. But Flaffy Granola was kind enough to send me an advance copy, that way I could capture everything and have a video ready for release day, because to say people have been excited for the idea of a Symphony of the Night static recomp based upon the PlayStation 1 version would be an understatement. This is basically the final boss, the S tier, the upper echelon of games we wanted to see on PC for the longest time, and it is going to be available for you to play today. And while it is still in active development, I played around with earlier builds. I have finished the game in both widescreen and 4x3, kind of pivoting back and forth, that I'm here to tell you you're going to have an extremely fun time with this one. This is absolutely the gold standard of how to bring Castlevania Symphony of the Night over to PC. And even though I'll go over it a little bit further in the video later on, there is mod support, there's a bunch of different quality of life improvements, there is a built-in randomizer as well, so this just isn't a bare bones implementation of Symphony of the Night on your computer. This thing is absolutely the total package of, in my opinion, one of the top 5 best video games ever made of all time. You can debate that in the comments, just be aware that if you say it's not in the top 5, you're definitely going to be wrong on that one. All jokes aside, I've been super excited for you guys to test this out. I've done multiple different kind of preview videos, both when I first started working as well as widescreen, and the day is finally here. You can take on Dracula one more time, but you can do it on your PC as that static recomp. Before you get too far involved though, do me a huge favor down below, hit like and subscribe and ring that notification bell, definitely helps us out. And if you feel so inclined and want to support the channel, we got a Patreon link down below as well. But this is based on Recomp 1, Flaffy Granola's own recompilation tool for PlayStation 1 games that I did a specific video on, and a lot of the reason this worked is because the developers decided that they needed to have a robust tool set to statically recompile games from PlayStation 1 to PC. And for those of you that do care about the following topic, both Recomp 1 and this Castlevania Symphony of the Night static recomp was 100% done by human hands, so you know that if it does matter to you. And the honest part is, setting this thing up is going to be dead easy. All you need to do is download it and double click the executable, give it your completely legally owned copy of Castlevania Symphony of the Night, go ahead and hit OK, I understand, then it'll immediately boot up into Symphony of the Night. So the setup process on this one is painfully easy, and that is a good thing, because I always try to remember and remind myself what I know how to do and what developers know how to do is not always what everyone who's watching this knows how to do. There is no complex build process, there really isn't anything you need to worry about. You download the build, give it the disk image, and then you're off to the Castlevania races. And again, this is still just one of the most iconic games of all time. Now on the widescreen mode, you are going to see that of course when you're in menus or in areas where the screen doesn't scroll, you are going to kind of drop back into a 4:3 aspect ratio with the letterboxing at the top and the bottom. I actually think that works really well because in menus, you get all the context you need with no real garbage imagery to the left and to the right, and when you can use something like widescreen, that is available to you, like in this area right here. As you jump down to fight the Dark Priest shaft, there is artwork to the left and to the right because this area does scroll, therefore you're getting that actual widescreen in this instance because of the letterboxing at the top and the bottom. You're getting closer to maybe not ultra wide, but we'll just kind of say mega wide in this instance. And as far as the performance is concerned, you're going to be able to run this thing on pretty much any potato that has a decent amount of freshness to it and hasn't started to mold around the edges. There's absolutely no latency in the inputs or controls. Being able to pull off all of the special moves that Alucard has is going to be easy, and I will again talk about the randomizer after the first audio sample. And if you've never played a Symphony of the Night randomizer and you feel like to yourself, I played this game enough, there's nothing new to see, try a randomizer out. It's going to pivot everything up in the game as to where items are located, and it will be confirmed to be completable because the seed generation does that, and then suddenly it feels about as close to playing this game for the first time ever again that you're going to get without being able to wipe your memory. But this is just an epic project. I'm so excited that it's out for everyone to play today, because I've been looking forward to hearing your guys' feedback on it as well, because I knew you were excited. But the first are 2 soundtrack samples, and I'll be right back.
No! You claim to love the darkness. Go then and dwell there for all eternity. But my goal is achieved. Count Dracula has come to purify this corrupt world with the searing flames of chaos. Father.
Well met, my son. It's been a long time.
I was hoping we would not see each other again. I can't allow you to leave here, Father.
You have ever been the ally of humans. Have you forgotten what they did to your mother?
I mean, honestly, the way Shaft says, oh, I think he just bricked in his hammer pants right there. But all hammer pant jokes aside, you're going to see here part of the sub-menu, which is going to be at the top. You can play a run with movement, put on infinity jump. If you go to quality of life, you even get a colorblind mode. You can restore the fairy Nocturne song as well, which is something that is dropped out of the PlayStation 1 version, and play around with a lot of different options. Some of these will feel essential, some of these will be completely irrelevant to you, but the amount of things you can articulate in the Symphony of the Night PlayStation 1 Recomp or PlayStation 1 PC port, depending on how you want to call it, it can be interchangeable to people when they're searching things. And if you go to the top bar here to these settings, you're going to be able to rebind all your controllers for keyboard as well as for a controller. You're going to be able to switch over from widescreen to 4:3 aspect ratio if you want, and play around with some pillar boxing and change the audio volume. Additionally, we have a couple other settings here. There is going to be mod support. Right now, there really isn't anything for me to test that I found that I wanted to show you guys, but that's definitely going to be coming in soon now that this is public. And if you go up to the randomizer options, you're going to be able to randomize everything, generate a custom seed, and even use the randomizer website, which is now compatible with the Symphony of the Night PlayStation 1 Recomp, so you can do it on web-based and just enter the number in as well. And I will leave a link in the description below to that website, so you can basically go ahead and do it either way you'd like, so you can kind of set a little bit more parameters to your randomizer if you so want to do so. But honestly, I think I would just jump in and play Symphony of the Night from start to finish, getting over 200% before you really play around with the randomizers. Now, a note on the widescreen, there is a little bit of culling. Hopefully that can be pulled back soon. Again, this is a beta release and maybe it could never be quote-unquote fixed, but some of the 3D elements in the background, they will not extend all the way out to 16:9. So if you're seeing that, it is just part of the build right now and kind of how the game works. Because don't forget, for the most part, all the backgrounds like you see here were 2D background assets, and those will absolutely be in that widescreen aspect ratio unless they don't scroll on the screen. That's kind of just going to be the difference between the 2D and the 3D assets, because the 3D assets were designed to cull outside the 4:3 aspect ratio, where the background 2D images here are just meant to scroll along with the screen. And honestly, it isn't even an issue with this recomp, it's just how the game was set up to run, so it's doing exactly what it should be doing. You were just never actually meant to see that. But as far as the Symphony of the Night Recomp, I can't find anything to point to that makes me think that this is anything other than an extremely amazing project with an extremely amazing result. I played around, I jumped around in different areas of the game, loaded up different save files that Fluffy Granola sent to me. Everything worked exactly as I expected. I never had one crash, I never had one bug or issue. Now, of course, they're probably in there somewhere because this is a massive game with a bunch of different permutations on where you can go and what you can do at any given point in time. So if you do find a bug or a crash, definitely leave it in the comments down below, and I will leave a link to the developers Discord as well if you want to pop in and talk about this release. Just remember, as I always say, if you come over from my video, be cool, be polite, be thankful that this exists, and don't hassle anybody for anything too quickly. I know you listening would never do that. I'm talking to the other you, the person that kind of goes in and feels like they can demand a few things. I always hate when that happens. Let's do one more soundtrack sample, a lot more music and a lot less dialogue, but let's be real, the voice acting in Symphony of the Night is 69 out of 10 good, and I'll be right back with more. Absolutely incredible soundtrack that I'll never get tired of listening to, but don't forget, because you can basically cheat, go around in the game, jump to wherever you want, you can jump into some of the absolutely most precarious situations that you forget would absolutely just destroy you every single time. And all jokes aside, I know this boss is absolutely the hardest, most hit point spongy boss in the game. I kind of just figured I would say, don't go ahead and start cheating right off the top, because you could end up in a situation where maybe you're not having as much fun as you actually thought you would. But trust me when I say, this static Classic Recomp is absolutely 10 out of 10. It is one of the best games ever made, and it's now one of the best recomps ever made, and it isn't even done. And now that it's going to be out there, you're going to see a lot of community support around this thing with different mods and everything else. And I have absolutely no idea if it's ever going to happen, but you know full well the number one thing I want to see, at least to start, is Saturn Maria added to the game with her moveset, not the PlayStation 1 version of Maria that was basically borrowed from, I think, the PlayStation Portable build. And of course, I would love to see the extra areas of the Saturn version of the game brought in as well, along with the extra familiars and items that were never in the PlayStation 1 version, because even though on paper, technically, the PlayStation 1 version is the better version of Symphony of the Night, that extra content in the Saturn version has always made it my favorite to play, just because I always want more Symphony of the Night. There's no such thing as too much, and I definitely would love to see that come in. But even if it never does, I'm blown away by just how well this recompilation came out. And now, as of today, there is a Symphony of the Night PC port that you can sit down and play, and that is something, especially in 2026 when modern gaming seems to absolutely just suck every single time we talk about it. Retro developments like this, development teams like this bring us the heat, bring us the magic, and keep us entertained for years to come. So if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Trust me, installing this thing basically takes like 2 clicks, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.